So Florida Fanatics here, and we are here to go over our review of Toy Story Land and also some of the changes that are already happening.
Alright, welcome back guys. So hopefully you guys had a chance to actually see some of the videos that we put up from opening day at Toy Story Land. We were actually super psyched to make those videos. I hope you guys were excited to see them, and hope you liked them.
If you haven't, go check them out. We did a couple live streams that day. We did a walkthrough, we did a vlog, and some point of view ride videos. So
absolutely, and it was fun. We did the point of view for Slinky Dog Dash. We did Alien Swirling Saucers, and so yeah. But I mean, as far as that goes, we're gonna go right into it. As far as what we're here to talk about today, and that's our review or our opinion on the park. So why don't you start us off? What did you think about the park?
Like overall, I thought the land was very well themed. I mean, I would think did you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very beautiful. It was just very detailed. I mean, even with the benches that were made of popsicle sticks.
Right.
They were like stained, so it looked like it was like popsicles on there.
Right.
So, I mean, that was really cool.
I know some of the things that I noticed, you know, obviously with all the lights and stuff, like I would assume, I mean, we weren't there, we didn't experience it at nighttime, but it would have to be a completely different atmosphere at night with all of those lights, like, you know, in Andy's room, how they have them, you know, the Christmas lights all hung up and everything. I bet it looks really cool. You know, within the Tinker Toys, like they're huge. Basically, when you walk into the park.
Well, I think you meant backyard, not Andy's room.
Oh, backyard, whatever. Whatever, but anyways, but it also makes you feel like you're small, like a toy when you walk in the place, because everything is huge. So, you know, you have Slinky Dog Dash there, and then there's, you know, there's Jessie, and then there's, you know, Rex, and then, you know, it's just basically everything's larger than you, so it, you know, makes you feel like a toy. And the cast members even call you toys, which is kind of funny, so.
Yeah, there's also a lot of Easter eggs in the land that, you know, we saw a couple, but maybe we'll go and shoot another video that includes those Easter eggs.
We can do that.
And then we have, like he said, we didn't go at night, so hopefully we can go back and check that out and make a new video of that. But, so I mean, let's get down to the ride. What'd you think of Alien Swirling Saucers first?
Well, I will say this. I actually expected Alien Swirling Saucers to be more like, I don't know, like the Mad like teacups or something. And it wasn't at all. It wasn't like you're just spinning around, you know, in a track and that's it. It has 3 separate areas, and basically you actually it switches tracks, and you actually go into each area, and it's really cool because I've never seen anything like it. So it's pretty neat to experience that.
It reminds me of maybe a more tamer version of like the Scrambler.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, like the Scrambler. Okay.
So it was actually really fun. Going into it, I really thought that ride was going to be like a one and done type thing.
Yeah.
But it was something I would do over and over again. It was that fun.
Yeah, I mean, I would ride it. I mean, would I wait a long time for it? Probably not.
We don't wait on most any rides. But,
okay, right.
Well, yeah. And Slinky Dog Dash was pretty cool, I would say. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And one thing is, I didn't know this, and everyone probably did, but I didn't. But it's a double launch coaster, which is really cool to find out. You know, you actually, you know, the launch sequence that you can see, you know, over the bridge or whatever is actually not the beginning of the coaster. That's actually the second launch. And I was thinking that was the first launch, but no, you basically go out, you're launched, and you go, you know, you do your thing for a little bit, and then they stop you and you do a second launch, which is really cool. So
it's a fun coaster. I think it was made by Mack Rides, but people compare it to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's definitely a family coaster, so it doesn't go super fast. There's not any like large drops. But for what it is, it was actually, you know, entertaining. It was fun. I would do it again.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, you can bring your kids on it, and I don't think they're gonna be screaming or crying or anything like that. So, yeah, but it was also fun for, I mean, I would ride it. I mean, it got up there in speed a little bit, but it just wasn't too out of control. So
I enjoy it way more than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I mean, my only negative things about those two rides is that they are very, very short. So even when I was doing the point of view videos, the rides each clocked in about 1.5 minutes long. So that's very, very short.
Right, and not to mention the wait times on that day got up to what, like 420 or 470 minutes or something like that. It was insane.
Opening day, it's been different though. So even the day after opening day, and since then the crowds or the wait times have dropped significantly. I think you're seeing about a 90-minute wait for Slinky Dog Dash now. And then the only other thing that it was cool but disappointing at the same time with Slinky Dog Dash was Wheezy. Because all the videos that they kind of hyped up and were showing up of the penguin, it almost like it was like a Mr. Potato Head or Buzz Lightyear when you're riding those rides. That you get to
one in the park.
Well, yeah, I thought you got to like walk by it, take pictures of it, kind of like stare at it, but it's actually at the end of the roller coaster, so it does stop for a second, but it's very quick.
So yeah, you got basically to see him, you actually have to see the animatronic. You actually have to ride the Slinky Dog Dash coaster.
Another thing they did with the Toy Story Land is they actually changed the entrance to Toy Story Midway Mania, and I think they just changed the name because I noticed it just said Toy Story Mania, and they took out the Midway part.
Which is actually really, it was cool. They incorporated it nicely, so it's like, well, they have actually 3 rides. Like they have 3 rides in there, you know. So. Or attractions, whatever you want to call it, you know. But anyways,
I like the new entrance.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think it was pretty quick to get on, in my opinion. It was.
Well, we fast passed it, but
yeah.
The only bad thing about the new Fast Pass line is you actually don't get to see Mr. Potato Head.
Right. I was gonna say that.
But other than that, they added a few things. Even when the exit queue. It's actually super long now, but they have added like some extra toys and other things you can look at, which is actually really cool. So, so we have a video of the new queue, but if you haven't done it, go check it out. Ride's still the same though.
Yeah, they haven't changed anything for the ride, so which is good because I like the ride. It's fun, and I beat him every time. So
yeah, I don't like that ride
because he loses.
No, the thing is just, it hurts. I know
it hurts to lose.
I know a lot of people can agree.
It hurts to lose.
That ride, your arm gets so tired. Whatever, you lose at Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger spin all the time.
That's because they don't have fog in there.
Excuses. But anyhow, but overall, great addition to Hollywood Studios. I know it's not the biggest land. Because I know that everything is kind of being poured into like Star Wars land.
Yeah, Star Wars is going to be the huge I mean, if Toy Story Land was this big as far as wait time, like, oh my gosh, it's going to be insane for Star Wars. I just can't wait to see it. So
yeah, but so yeah, it's not supposed to be like the main land that's there. But overall, we did have some negatives about the land, which was probably there's no shaking and there's no like indoor queues except for Midway Mania.
Right, so how you're used to going to Disney and a lot of the stuff being indoors and being air conditioning while you're waiting, none of that is in Toy Story Land. Don't go in there expecting it, and make sure you bring sunscreen if you burn easily, because I'm telling you what, there's no shade anywhere. You're basically to the elements, if you will, and we definitely were burning up.
Yeah, well there's like
hot.
Shade kind of covered spots, but it is barely for both of the rides. But there's not a lot of airflow that gets in there, so it's extremely humid.
Yeah.
And that's actually going to take us into kind of like some of the changes that are happening right now at the new Toy Story Land, because there actually have been a lot of complaints about no shade and the lack of the airflow and it being so hot. So nothing has actually changed with that, but they did make note that there was a lot of complaints, so we might see something with that.
They might throw a couple fans in there maybe with some, you know, mist or something, who knows.
Well, that they actually had, but it wasn't even like anything that made much of a difference, obviously.
Right. I didn't see it.
But 2 major changes have already happened with Toy Story Land, and one is with the fencing.
Right.
So I'm gonna show you this, so if you actually look at this, this actually is a video of us going through Slinky Dog Dash, and on the right hand side you can see the fencing that we're talking about. This is going all the way throughout the land, and it's actually made of plastic. So with the fencing, basically they deemed it that it was unsafe, so they have roped it off. They have cast member stationed throughout the land so that guests cannot get close to the fencing. So they have boarded up some of it. We don't know what they're planning on doing with the fencing because they've been kind of vague, but boards have shown up over it.
Yeah.
We think that it had to do with they did not put the original budget for the Toy Story. They cut it a little bit.
Yeah, so let's just throw some plastic stuff up that we're just gonna pay for and save money, but have to scrap it anyway.
But yeah, I think the major parts, because it's all around like Slinky Dog Dash, so they don't want like kids to like run up to it and then fall through it. So
yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the fencing. But as of right now, you can't get near it. So that area you saw in the video, where you actually see some people walking through it, you can't walk through it anymore.
Yeah.
Can't even get close to it.
Yeah, so I mean, keep your kids away, who knows what's gonna happen.
And then the other change that happened, and here we are, we're only about 2 weeks after the opening of Toy Story Land. Yeah. One thing we did not do is we did not eat at Woody's Lunchbox, which is the quick service restaurant.
No way, that place. Oh my gosh, it was so packed. I can't believe how packed that place was. We walked in there and it was just, or we did not in there. We couldn't get in there, that's the thing. I mean, it would have been nice to see, or like at least see the inside, but...
Well, there's no inside.
Or not see the inside, but I mean like see the area. Like you couldn't even get over to the area. So it's like, it was just so packed, like there was no point. And it's like, the menu wasn't even like that worth it in order to...
Well, since we were there early, it was the breakfast, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, going back, that's actually a good point, because that is another one of the big complaints coming up is with Woody's Lunchbox is there's like the lack of seating, and it's all outdoors, uncovered, so you can't even go in and like sit down in some air conditioning before to eat.
It really was. It was a small area. Like, in my opinion, I think Toy Story Land itself altogether is small. It's very small for the amount of people they're probably putting in there, and not to mention, especially at the restaurant, it's probably the smallest one there. I don't even think. I mean, it's tiny. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, I will definitely agree with that. I think they could have added so much more to the land. One of the great things, though, is that the walkways were very wide.
Yeah.
So it didn't really feel very cramped when walking throughout there.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
But anyhow, getting back to Woody's Lunchbox, one of the major changes, they took off the Monte Cristo sandwich that was on the lunch menu. Something we didn't try, but it was something that was probably something that was the most hyped thing. So even when the cast member was saying you have to try the Monte Cristo, well, it's not going to happen.
It's gone. It's gone.
So here's kind of a picture of it. So what it is turkey, ham, Swiss, raspberry jam on almost like a French toast type of bread. For me, I don't know, how do you think that sounds?
Sounds okay, I guess. I would try it.
I don't know about the raspberry jam.
No,
but
yeah, that would yeah.
But cast members are saying that it was taken off because it wasn't selling enough. There's other speculation that maybe it just took too long to make and they couldn't keep up with actually the demand, because again, it was like French toast style bread. So we don't really know if it wasn't selling or if it's just, you know, taking too long to make. But I think one of the big disappointments was everyone was hoping it was going to be similar to the one that they actually sell at Disneyland, which I actually saw a picture of that and it looks completely different. They don't have the raspberry jam on top, it's more like a dipping sauce.
Yeah, that would probably be better, because I'd probably not even use the dipping sauce, because you're right, I didn't know it had raspberry jam on it.
But yeah, it's a completely different type of sandwich, so I think a lot of people were expecting it to be the same, because apparently it was really good. but it's completely different. So who knows, but those are the changes that have already happened 2 weeks after, and I'm sure we're gonna see some more. So hopefully, you know, if you've gone to Toy Story Land, let us know what you think of it.
Comment and subscribe below, guys. And let us, you know, yeah, he said let us know. We want to hear about your adventure, how you guys, you know, experience the rides and everything, what you thought could be improved on, what you liked, what you didn't like. We're interested to hear about it. So, so again, please subscribe. And until next time, guys, Florida Fanatics, we're out. See you later.